Hi, I'm Maurice Karuba with Just Catering, and welcome to episode 2 of Keeping It Fresh. We're here on location in beautiful San Francisco, California, and we're going to take you to Newport Fish Company and show you how fish is really done. I'm here with my dear friends, Frank and Andy. Thanks for having us.
Nice to meet you finally after all these years of doing business.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
We're here to educate our customers about where their fish comes from today. Can you walk us through the process here at your facility?
Sure. What happens here is that early in the morning we receive, this is our receiving gate. We get trucks that come in with our forklift. We will unload the product, and the product is staged right about here. As he comes in through these doors, we stage the product. The first thing that we do is open up the boxes, look at the fish, and then probe it, first of all for temperature control, and then we see how fresh the fish is. If any product that comes through these doors and it's below 40 degrees, we reject it automatically, it's sent back.
Andy, what's next? You've accepted the fish, you've probed it, you've checked the temperature and the quality, it's good to go. What do we do next?
Well, next thing that we do is we have an electric forklift that it's manually handled. So the person that is in charge of the refrigerator puts the product in. It separates the product by species and puts it in there. That product, shellfish, is assigned at that time a track ID number, which you can see there up here. All the different varieties of oysters and clams are assigned a number so that we can track them just in case there should be something. And over here, it's all the fresh fish that come in. And that includes scallops. So they're all assigned a lot number and a track ID number so that we have access to the product should something happen. Those numbers are put on boxes inside the refrigerator once the product is staged, and it's usually first in, first out. Okay, this is our staging area. As you can see, we have product that comes from all over. We have some PEI mussels over here, come from the East Coast. We have some little neck clams over here. These happen to be Florida clams, Florida little necks. We have some Manila clams that comes from Washington area. And we have fresh Dungeness crab meat over here, and a lot of other varieties of fish.
So this is where you stage your fish?
This is where we stage our fish, and from here, actually, from here goes right into the processing area. Okay, and there everything is done. So the product never leaves, is never out of refrigeration.
It's always under the right temperature.
It's always under temperature control.
Here we are in the processing plant. I've asked Andy if he could just pull out maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 fish to show us what's coming out of our local waters and also what's coming out of our neighboring waters. And he's, as you can see here in a second, he's really outdone himself. Thank you. Can you walk us through what we have today? What are the fresh catches today?
Sure. Over here we have a, by the way, all this fish comes out of the Pacific. It's all our coast. Some from south, some from north. This is a California halibut. Okay, comes out of Southern California. This here is a wild king salmon, which comes out of the Pacific coast also. Over here we have a tuna. This is a very high-grade tuna. He comes out of the Fiji Islands, so it's South Pacific, a little bit away from us.
Okay.
Tuna season is not open quite yet up here in our waters. This year you're looking at a sable fish. This is also a very a local fish. Some people call it sable fish, some people call it black cod. Is one of the same.
Wow, I like what we have over here.
Over here we have a corvina that comes out of Southern California. It's a sea bass, very well known product, and quite large amounts available, and it's a very, very popular fish. This is, here next to it is also a sea bass. This is a genuine California sea bass. It's fished, it's a very seasonal fish. We're almost at the end of the season now.
What would you say, is there a difference in texture on these two?
Yes, there is. I like to think that the California sea bass, it's a better tasting fish, and also it's more of a flaky fish, okay, and it's very, very mild. So is the Corvina, but the Corvina is more coarse.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a little more denser in the meat.
More dense in the meat, and the scales are much, much bigger.
Well, we're about to look at something from Half Moon Bay, right?
Right. This is right from our coast, and this is a local petrale sole. Again, it is the best tasting sole. Does not compare to anything else. It has a very mild and unique flavor of its own.
So I understand that we've saved the smaller fish for last. What do we have
right.
here?
Well, over here we have this is in the jack family. It's an it's a yellowtail jack. Also, this comes from Southern California or Mexico. This is what is called a black grouper, and he comes out of Mexico, believe it or not. This particular bass grouper, bass comes out of Mexico also. It is very coarse, mild in flavor, and it's very thick. Most people use it for steaking. Some people broil it, other people cut it very thin. They use it for bacon and also fried. Okay, now we're going into our shucking room. This is a separate room from where fish is processed. Because of cross-contamination, shucking is done in a total separate room. What we have here is what we call New York little necks. These clams come out of Cape Cod. Over here we have oysters that come out of the Pacific Northwest. These are Royal Miyagi's, a very mild oyster, very good tasting and very nice and soft. What we have over here next to it is a Blue Point oysters. So this comes out of East Coast, Chesapeake Bay. The larger ones are used for bacon sometimes, and most times for half shell. Here we have another Northwest Pacific oyster, comes out of Washington. It's a Fanny Bay oyster. Again, just like the Royal Miyagi, it is a very good mild oyster and very nicely in texture.
Wow. I am hungry.
Yeah, me too. Why don't we have some?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Wow, I'm going to grab this one right over here.
Well, Frank, what do you want? A clam or an oyster? I'm going to have a clam.
Beautiful. Doesn't get any fresher than this. Doesn't get any better than this. Thank you so much for having us here.
You're very welcome.
And for providing us all these wonderful fresh fish to our customers and our company. And there's a reason why you've been in business since 1978. And I can tell now by coming here and meeting you.
Very good. Thank you. Well, it's a salute. It's very nice having you.
Salute.